Welcome everyone. In today's video I wanted to talk about Drift, which is a new perpetual futures DEX available on Solana. So they recently went live on their open mainnet for everyone to use, so I'm going to show it off today. So if we take a look at the UI, it looks pretty slick, and if we want to start using Drift, we actually need to deposit some USDC into our margin account. So I'll do that right now. You currently have a cap on 100,000 per user. So they're going to raise that on the future, but because this has recently opened up in its mainnet and it's still quite early in development, there are still going to be lots of features that you would expect from a perpetual futures DEX that haven't quite arrived to Drift yet, and you'll be able to see that in a bit. So currently right now they have about 3 markets of which you can trade. So we have a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and that's totally fine because this is still like an early stage project. So if I go up here to change market, we can see Sol Perp, Bitcoin Perp, and ETH Perp. So this project, interestingly enough, was actually backed by the same people who also backed Perpetual Protocol, and I expect Drift to be the Perpetual Protocol of Solana. So we have 2 top perpetual futures DEXs right now live on Solana, and that's Mango Markets and Drift, and I'll talk about the differences between them and which one I think is better later on in this video. But if I were to enter a trade, you currently only right now have market orders, so no limit orders or stop orders right now. They haven't implemented all these things yet, but I expect it will come soon. But let's see if I can trade 50%. So let's just long Solana with $50, and we'll do 1x leverage for now and a slippage tolerance at 0.1%. So let's see, change this to long, and then press this, and then we can see here order type market, trade size 0.21 Sol, entry price roughly, estimated slippage, and the fees, so it's 0.1% fee. So I'm going to press long and then just approve up here as well. So I quite like this, the way that it's all set out, and the fact that there's no settle button or anything like that as well, which is quite nice. I think the less buttons that you have to press to go ahead and use the protocol, the better for the most part. So if we go down here, we can see that I'm trading Sol Perps, direction long, the size, the notional amount, and the entry price, and then the estimated exit price. That's if I sold right now. And the estimated liquidation price, there is none because I'm not trading on any margin. And then we have P&L here at the bottom, which is I'm currently down like 1 cent. If we go over here, we can see all the recent trades that have occurred. So I was this one here. But yeah, you know, there's quite a bit of activity here. I mean, it's still only recently opened up to the public, so expect the volumes traded on Drift to exponentially grow over time. Over here on the right, we have total collateral. So this is my account balance that I deposited. So we also have here unrealized P&L. So I'm currently 2 cents up in profit, and then unrealized funding P&L. So if you're not familiar with perpetual futures, you have to pay a funding rate every hour depending on if you're long or short. The funding rate here is minus 85.61% APR, meaning that you're currently getting paid 85.6% of your position per year to go long. When the funding rate's negative, people who go long actually get paid out interest by the people who are short. If the funding was positive, people who are short get paid out interest by people who are long. And so you get money every hour if you're going long right now, and that will come up here in the unrealized funding P&L. And this is free collateral. So this is the value of collateral that can be used to open new positions. We also have here a leverage, because I've only used half of my portfolio to enter this perpetual futures long. I've only used 0.5x of my that's only going to be 0.5x, and then margin ratio here. So this is the total collateral divided by total notional position size. So if my margin ratio was at 100%, then I've used up all of my assets, but because it's at 200%, I've only used up 50% of my account to actually go into a trade. And then here we have maintenance margin requirement. So the margin percentage when your positions will be fully liquidated. So let's just say I wanted to close this position because I'm up 5 cents. So I just press close. I mean, I could theoretically come over here and then press short, but the fact that there are no limit orders or anything like that, I might as well just come over here and press market close. So estimated exit price, and then I can change the slider as to how much I want to sell. Let's just say I want to sell everything for now. So I've made, looks like almost 8 cents in this trade. So I approve that. And what's nice about Solana as well is that the fees are so cheap. They're like fractions of a penny. So you can do a ton of trading activity and not really hurt you. So let's actually take out a short position on Ethereum and see how this works. So I'm going to short $300 worth of Ethereum. So my actual collateral amount is only like $99. So we can leverage that up 3x to get $299 short. And then the slippage tolerance 0.1, that's fine because my estimated slippage is very, very low at 0.006%. And let's short this ETH. So my estimated liquidation price for this short is at $5,903. So let's do this. So the slippage for this is quite low. And the way that it works is that you're trading against a virtual AMM versus trading against order books. But I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. So these positions should just be loading up. There we go. I'm short ETH perp at $299 notional size. And my estimated liquidation price is at $5,841. So we also have this neat chart here. I recommend that you probably do most of your trading off of like a trading view chart or any other charting software that you actually have, because although these charts have some of like, you know, the basic tools that you need, like drawing lines, writing on it, or you can even add like moving averages and other things. Once you like refresh the screen and log back in, it will all disappear. So if you've made some like super complicated technical analysis that you need up for a while, it's probably not worth doing it on Drift right now. So I'm going to take a look at some of the trade history. So you can see here, these are all the different trades that I've made. And then liquidations, because I've not got liquidated, there's none going to show up. And then we have funding history. So funding history is the amount that you pay every hour. We talked about the funding rate earlier on. But because I've not actually held a trade that long, I'm going to have zero funding history for right now. So what's really cool about Drift is that the funding APR is actually minus 97%. So you get paid to go long right now on this ETH perp. If I change the market to Sol perp, minus 89%, so you're getting paid like, you know, almost 90% a year to go long Sol. And then if I go to Bitcoin perp, the funding rate's actually positive here. So if you're long, you're paying 43% of your position to be long. So that's quite interesting. So what I've noticed with Perpetual Protocol, which is a very similar product but on Ethereum, is that a lot of the time, because of the virtual AMM that they use, that a lot of the perpetual markets there are actually in backwardation, meaning that you get paid to go long them. So it's actually quite interesting how this works, and it contrasts well to Mango markets, and I'll talk about that more in a bit. So let's take a look at the frequently asked questions. So hopefully I'll be able to shine a little bit more light on this. So what makes Drift different from other perpetual products? Well, Drift uses a virtual dynamic AMM or a DAM. The virtual AMM enables instant liquidity on trades from day one without reliance on market makers, and our dynamic AMM features Drift Cover, which is a novel fee redistribution mechanism. So we also have cross margining here. So Drift allows for multiple positions to be taken in the same pool of USDC collateral. This allows for convenience of collateral management, with profits from a single position being able to support margin from other positions. So that's really cool as well. How is the dynamic automatic market maker better than an order book? So an order book is where you place like limit orders, and then it will show up in the order book. Like if you go here, this is what it's like. And Mango Markets uses an order book approach versus the DAMM approach that Drift uses. So some of the advantages are no spoofing or liquidity vanishing when it's needed. So people can rip orders out of the book whenever they want to, because they just can. But with the dynamic automatic market maker, it's not really a thing. There are also no spreads, meaning there always exists a sufficiently small size trade that is cheaper through Drift than anywhere else, and adaptable market liquidity. As Drift grows, smaller traders benefit the most. And are you planning on adding limit orders, take profit and stop losses? So yes, they're coming in the roadmap, but because they're so new, they're not quite here yet. They've just given you a minimum viable product that you can actually go ahead and use. Also, are there any Drift tokens? No. There's no public plans for an IDOR public sale, and they're going to release the tokenomics paper soon. So this is a protocol that's live on mainnet that doesn't have a token, so I recommend using it in hopes of an airdrop. So if you want to qualify for an airdrop with something like Drift, it probably makes sense to actually be a proper user of Drift protocol. Like, come here every day, do a couple of trades, so on and so forth. You don't want to use it once and expect to get an airdrop, because you probably won't get anything. So if I scroll down even further, this is the last thing I want to cover from the facts. So are there any restricted users? So yes, you're restricted from using Drift if you're from the US or a resident from any countries that have imposed sanctions on people trading crypto derivatives. So like the US, the UK, or places in European Union. But what's interesting is that they haven't actually set up anything to block you from using it, at least because I'm from a restricted jurisdiction and I'm still able to trade on here without actually using like a VPN or anything like that. So I just wanted to take some time to talk about Drift compared to Mango Markets and what I thought about it. So I still think Mango Markets offers a better product right now, and it's mainly due to the fact, I mean, like Mango Markets is a lot further along in its development. We can see here that you have a lot more markets that you can actually go ahead and trade. Another thing that I like about Mango Markets that I feel is going to always be better than Drift Protocol, unless they want to change how it works fundamentally, is the fact that you can actually use anything as collateral in Mango Markets, anything that they support actually. So they support Mango, Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, stablecoins, Serum, Ray, Cope, FTT, and MSOL as collateral here that you can trade against. And I'm a big fan of that actually, because I think all decentralized perpetual futures dexes should eventually aspire to become like an FTX clone. So FTX has basically made the perfect product for perpetual futures, and you can see that in the growth of their exchange. Like, everyone loves it. And I think all of the features that FTX have, all decentralized exchanges should sort of strive to replicate. So using anything as collateral is a great thing about Mango Markets. And another great thing about Mango Markets is that whenever you deposit your collateral, you can automatically start earning a deposit rate. So if you deposited Ray, for example, and you wanted to trade against it, you're still earning like 71% a year on your Ray that you have deposited. If you deposit USDC, you're earning 3.39%. So that's awesome, and I think Drift should definitely take that on board and see if they can do that. So right now I can see that my short has not been very profitable, so I'm just going to close it off right now. So close 100% of the position, and I'll approve this trade. So now that Drift is up and running, we can start doing some really cool things with it. Especially some delta neutral trading. So as you can see here, the funding APR on like the ETH perp is minus 94%. So you get paid 94% a year to long the ETH perp. Well, we can use that to go long the ETH perp here, and that will get us 94% a year, and then go on to Mango Markets. And then I think you can go ahead and short sell ETH USDC by doing this spot. And then you can effectively get a delta neutral position there whilst yielding 94% a year. So I'll talk more about that in another video that will come out soon. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe for another video like this one.